Hello. So, bet nyo ba yung nanalo Miss Universe Philippines 2020? Si Miss Rabia Mateo? Or may iba kayong bet manalo? So today, let's talk about who among the top 5 finalists really deserves to win Miss Universe Philippines 2020. Okay? If the scores were 0 before the start of the Q&A portion, and if we will just base from the Q&A itself, sino kaya sa top 5 ang deserving talagang manalo? So, himay-mayin natin yung mga answers nila. So, let's start with Miss Quezon City, Michelle Gumabao. So, she was asked, her first question was about what app. Okay, parang ganon. What particular app she would rather have or she would want to have if she will be in strict isolation or if she will be quarantined during this pandemic. So her answer was her Bible, and she explained why. So it's not really her explanation that um, became the problem. Actually, there's no problem with her answer because the Bible is really the best book one can have in the time of pandemic. The problem is she was asked about a particular app, and if you will be under quarantine or if you will be isolated from everyone, I think you would bring with you the literal, real, physical Bible with you. And most of us Catholics have one or two at home, or more than two at home. And if you will be isolated from your family members and from your friends, I think you would bring one Bible with you, right? And so I think it's not really that necessary to have that app on your cell phone if you have the book itself with you. So I think the best answer there could be Facebook or Messenger, or it could be Instagram or Twitter or Zoom. Okay, and she could have explained why, and her focus could be because if you will be isolated, you would be alone, and to be physically alone and emotionally exhausted is actually difficult. And so you need the help of your friends, you need encouragement from your family members. So parang ganon. Where do pageants stand in this time of pandemic? That's a very nice question, di ba? Parang ang hirap sagutin. But she was able to answer well. She said pageants are very, very inspiring. She also mentioned that we can be more than our setbacks. And then her final answer was pageants can be a symbol of hope. So siguro, she could have just chosen one of those three answers. Namili na lang siya ng isa doon, and she could have explained it further or give an example why she said so. 'Di ba? Kasi parang kulang sa explanation. So for example, kung ang pinili niya pageants can be a symbol of hope in this time of pandemic, we can still enjoy the old normal in a new normal kind of way. Like beauty pageants, even without makeup artists, like the way you used to have in the previous pageants you've been to or you have joined. Still, you were able to inspire people, give hope to people. You were able to do all that just the same in a new normal kind of way. And somehow it gives hope to ordinary citizens who are not beauty pageant contestants that they too can enjoy the old normal way of life they have in a new normal kind of way. Parang ganun. So I think Miss Gumaba will have her time. She will shine more, I think, next time. There's a time for everything. A time under the heavens, 'di ba? Sabi nga sa Bible. Okay? And then next one, Miss Kavita was called next. Okay? And she was asked what advice she would give the first time voters here in the Philippines. And the way she stood and the way she answered the question, very confident but not overly confident. She was very poised. I really like that fact about her, the way she answered. She mentioned for us to be able to complain and appreciate the things we have as Filipinos, we have to vote. So, if you would translate that in Tagalog, para tayo makapag-complain at para ma-appreciate natin ang mga bagay na meron tayo bilang mga Pilipino, kailangan nating bumoto. So, I think the problem lies in that particular sentence, okay, or statement. Kasi hindi mo naman kailangang makaboto para makapag-complain. Hindi mo naman kailangang maging voter para ma-appreciate kung anong meron ang mga Pilipino. Because siguro yung word lang na complain is a bit negative. Okay, so I think yun lang yung naging problem with her answer. Okay, but I love her. She is bisexual and she's proud of it, and I think if this is her first pageant, maybe the second time around she would nail it. She would make it. And then the second question, actually it's flawless. It's perfect. Is an independent person, but the pageant taught her that she can ask for help. And then she mentioned about altruism and cooperation, that it must be practiced. So I think there's no problem with her second answer. Okay, so I was actually rooting for Miss Bohol in the beginning of the pageant. So she was the third to be called by the host, and she was asked about the factors that make her decide what to buy or post online. And she said, what I want to put out there, what I want to show the world, how I want to portray myself. Okay? So, yun yung mga na-remember ko na sagot niya. Now, if you would really listen to her answer, parang she wants to say that what she posts online are just those that she wants the world to see, because she mentioned that what I want to put out there. And when she mentioned how I want to portray myself, it's like telling us that there are other selves that she has that she doesn't want the world to know. And so she really chooses what to post because self-image to her is important. And you know, there's no problem with that really, but I think the judges would want a more authentic answer. Kasi naguluhan siya dun sa question. Kasi factors in deciding what to post or buy online. I mean, when you post online, you are giving something to others. When you buy something online, you are giving yourself something. So, dapat yung question, isa lang. Medyo ang hirap kasi nung tanong sa kanya. The second question, she mentioned, not all our dreams are cancelled, but are just put on hold. So, I think she gave a perfect answer sa second question. Okay? It was flawless. It was very confidently stated by a very pretty Miss Bohol. we'll discuss about the answer of Rabia last. Okay? So, what about the answer of Miss Paranyake? She was asked to a child who has never seen a beauty pageant before, how would you describe a beauty queen? And she said that a beauty queen is first and foremost a human being. She is proud of who she is. She is a woman who inspires love and is authentic. So there's nothing wrong with her answer. It's just that maybe she could have dropped the human being first statement of hers. And siguro ang haba lang ng answer niya. Um, when the chime was heard, she was still answering. So in a beauty pageant, your final statement must, be jaw dropping. Na when the chime is heard, parang naka tulala lang dapat yung audience, or maybe the audience is already cheering, something like that. Okay, so maybe it's the length of her answer that that became a problem. So for the second question, she answered, pageants can give hope, gives us light, we help each other prosper. So again, there's too much information in her answer, although there's really nothing wrong with her answer, it's flawless. But again, when the chime was heard, she was still saying something. So there was no jaw dropping kind of kicking finale in her answers. Okay, so although I liked her composure, I liked her voice, very calm. She doesn't seem nervous the way she answered the questions. Okay, so what about the answer of the winning Miss Universe Philippines, Rabia Mateo of Iloilo? So when she was asked if she could choose a face of a person, dead or alive, to be in Philippine currency, to be put in our bill, who would that person be? So, syempre, hindi mo naman pwedeng isagot dyan, your mother, your father, di ba? So, syempre, dapat really famous yung answer dyan. So, could be a hero, ganyan. And she made a jaw-dropping answer. So, it is a very safe answer. Miriam Defensor Santiago. Very safe. Why do I say so? Kay, kay Maka Duterte ka, kay Dilawan ka, I think you still love the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. Who wouldn't love her? Everybody loves her. Parang nobody does not love her. So it's very safe. And then she said that so the late senator the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago was an Ilongga like her. So nagkaroon ng connection. Okay, which is actually good. She also mentioned that she she actually wants to be like her. So mas lalong nagkaroon ng connection. She also mentioned that Miriam Defensor Santiago used her knowledge, her voice for the country, and she was someone who puts her heart and passion into action. And then her answer was actually short, but it was meaty. It kicks, it punches. After hearing her answer, I was like, oh my gosh, tulala lang ako. And then I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, could be. Even our president, when they had a debate, President Duterte was so in love with Miriam Defensor Santiago, he did not even ask her a question during a debate tournament. Okay, so um, instead of giving a question, President Duterte, I remember, told our late senator how excellent she is and why Um, she is a woman that everybody should look up to, something like that. And I think even um, yung Makaleni still loves our late senator. So it's a safe answer, and it was on point, grammatically flawless, and meaty. So there. And she answered with actions, with gestures of her hands. I think that made a difference. So kitang-kita from her gestures that she herself puts her heart into action, that she herself is passionate about the woman she's talking about, and that's Miriam Defensor Santiago. So I actually teach that in speech communication. Um, for your statements to have impact, you have to put gestures to your statements, and I think she was able to do that very naturally. Okay, and then for her second answer, she said that she's not just a face of Iloilo, that through beauty pageants, she wants to give hope and become a symbol of light in the dark times of Filipinos. She also mentioned that beauty pageants make an impact and gives us the power to make a difference. And again, she was able to deliver all that flawlessly before we hear the chimes. And again, it's jaw-dropping. And I think that answer made her win. And if I would, be a judge in that beauty pageant, I would also vote for her. I mean, I would also give her the highest score. So, there you go. Miss Rabia Mateo is no doubt based from her answers. And I think she was also best in swimsuit. No doubt, she deserves the Miss Universe Philippines 2020 crown.